So, hello everyone. I hope you are enjoying today's session. Yes? Okay. So this particular session, we are going to talk about data storytelling, especially with the focus on from data getting to insights, but taking it beyond insights and delivering value from data. So I have with me here Rachel Arrezola. She is Deputy Director of Communications at California Department of Health. This is Managed Healthcare. Sorry, there are too many health-related organizations, and I just confuse. In any case, we would be in this session talking about data storytelling with particular focus on and using Department of Managed Healthcare's health plan dashboard as an example. My name is Savita Farooqui. I'm CEO of Symsoft Solutions. So the agenda is simple. We are going to discuss a little bit about the problem, the solution, go through an example, and talk about the techniques, how you can do it yourself. So the problem is the data that we today have is disengaging. We can look at data from both the open data perspective, what is exposed to the public and to constituents in general. In the open data area, we have more than 2,500 open data portals around the world. And within organizations, there is more than 80% of data hidden. So what is exposed is really a very small percentage. But the problems that exist with the data that is exposed and the data that is within organizations, it is the same. We have lots of data. But what about insight? What about value from that data? How are we using that data? So to solve this problem, we believe that data storytelling is the solution, the answer to it. Why? Because we want to use that data to make decisions. And how do we really make decisions? I come from a technical background, and I strongly believe that decisions are made based on logic. You know, we look at the facts and we make decisions. That is wrong. Neuroscience has proven again and again that we make decisions based on emotions. We hear statistics. When the numbers are presented, they do kind of appeal to our logic. But when it comes to decision making, we make those based on the stories, what we feel. When we are presented with data, our shields go up, right? It's dry factual arguments. So Mark Twain had said that, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? It is in the same category. That's how we think about it. But when the same data is presented in a form of a story, our shields are down. We are more open to the argument. We are more open to, discussing about and making decisions based on what the data is telling us. By converting data into stories, the point that we are trying to convey becomes more understandable, more engaging, memorable, and even ultimately viral. And when we use data storytelling effectively, we can achieve the engagement. It could be engagement to make behavior change with our constituents, or it could be making decisions internally within organizations. So what is data storytelling? It really depends. It could be a data presentation in one particular scenario, or it could be a dashboard in other case, or visualizations or infographics. In general, it provides a structured approach for communicating data insights more effectively. Again, there are many keywords in here. The structured approach, communicating data insights, audience, narration and visualizations. So we'll go through that in a minute. So how data storytelling is used today? In multiple ways. Uber uses it effectively to let us know what kind of assistance is available for you nearby. If we were presented with that data in this fashion, it is not effective. When it is presented in this particular format, that data becomes alive and it is accessible, useful, usable. Same thing goes with events. When those events talk about the athletes and their stories, we are more engaged. In the philanthropy area, raising funds for certain cause, when you put face to that particular cause, that's when we achieve maximum results. So I'm going to hand it over and welcome Rachel to talk about the health plan dashboard that we created working with DMSC.
Well, good morning, everyone. So let's see here. I will admit I'm a little bit technically challenged. So we worked with Symsoft to create the DMHC health plan dashboard. And for those of you that are not familiar, the Department of Managed Healthcare is one of 2 state regulators of health insurance in the state. We regulate about 95% of healthcare enrollees in the government and commercial markets. And so we actually have a lot of data about health plans and the health plans that we regulate. And the department really embraced the open data movement. A lot of that was because most of our data is already available on our public website, but it was not really in a form that is consumable to the average public. So what we wanted to do was create a dashboard that would pull together about, we have about 20 varying data sets on our website, ranging all the way from health plan enrollment to department enforcement actions and health plan complaints. And those are all very siloed data sets. They don't speak to each other, and it's you can't trend that information. So getting to the insight and the value of that data is really difficult. And we found that difficulty internally in the department as well. So what we did is we tried to create the dashboard to pull together all of those varying data sets and to create insight and value with that data. So we created 2 entry points into the dashboard, or 2 main features, trying to think about the end user. So this is the homepage for the DMHC Marketplace dashboard, which pulls together all of the data that the department regulates industry-wide. And then we also have a health plan specific dashboard where you can go in and look at data specific to one particular health plan. So I'm going to show a quick demonstration video of the dashboard, if I can get it to work here. Sure. So once you go through the entry point on our homepage, you can type in a health plan and it will pull up. This is the health plan specific page for Western Health Advantage. So in here, when you land, you get some key information such as where the health plan provides services and the counties that they provide services, what type of health plan it is, the health plan's contact information. This is the member services information. And then some quick information about the size of the health plan or the enrollment, the most recent enrollment. So then if you keep scrolling down, we use some data visualization to delve deeper into enrollment. We have different categories. This is a video, but it is interactive. So if you hover over the bar chart, you would get the actual numbers broken down by the different categories. So you have total enrollment, commercial enrollment, government enrollment, and other enrollment. And then we have some key statistics about consumer complaints and independent medical reviews, which is a type of consumer complaint. We have enforcement actions against the health plan, which is trended over time. And then you can also click into our enforcement action database and actually pull up what those actions are. We have information on premium rate reviews. So the department reviews premium rate increases submitted by health plans. We don't have the authority to deny or approve. It's more for transparency, but we can publicly shame health plans by claiming that those rate increases are unreasonable. So you can see here that this particular plan has never had an unreasonable finding. But what we do is trend their rate increases over time. So those of you familiar with the ACA might notice the big dip here in rate increases. And then we have some key information about finances. So here we have several different, there's a drop-down menu here, and you can look at revenue, net profit, cash flow. This is trended over a period of time. You can do 5 years or 5 quarters. And then we also pulled in our audit reports on the health plans, which is more static data. These are PDF reports, but we felt it was important to include so you could get the whole picture of how that health plan is doing. You could look at the most recent report and see the areas that the health plan's doing well or is deficient. And lastly, we link to additional state departments that would have more information on that health plan. So one of the key features that we built into the dashboard is you can compare 2 health plans side by side. So in this demo, we have Cigna. And this will just go through all of those same categories for the 2 health plans. Enrollment, consumer complaints. For consumer complaints, we added a feature where we do a per 10,000 enrollees, so you can get an apples-to-apple comparison for each plan. You have enforcement actions. You can see Cigna had a couple more of those. And then our audit reports. So then we're going to quickly show or demo the marketplace dashboard for you. So here's the marketplace dashboard. We start out with some key statistics at the top, just trying to keep it very simple. That was really our goal with the dashboard, is to try to let the data speak for itself through the charts and graphs and various pieces of eye candy here. We tried to also be end user centric or human centered design, which was kind of the phrase used earlier today. So at any point in the dashboard, we tried to allow the user to get back into looking at a specific health plan. So this is another entry point to get into the health plan specific pages. And then as you continue to scroll down, all of those same categories that were on the health plan specific page, we've rolled up so you can look at it industry-wide. So you have enrollment, consumer complaints, enforcement actions, premium rate changes, and health plan financial information. And on all of those, you can drill down into more specific information and filter. So we'll just show you one of those pages, which is the consumer complaints and independent medical reviews. So we have filters and sorting features. So this is really meant to be interactive with the end user. Here you can see for 2015 the total number of complaints that we had. And that is broken down by the type of complaint categories. And then we also offer a line chart to trend it over time. So you can see total complaints over the last 15 years. And you can also sort that by complaint type if you wanted to trend that. And then this gives you some information on our independent medical review, which is a type of complaint. Most people are not aware, but if you are denied a service or treatment by your health plan, you can appeal to your state regulator for an independent medical review. And what that is an independent doctor will look at your case and determine if the service or treatment is medically necessary. And if it is, your health plan is required to cover that treatment or service. So here we have the types of IMRs, and then it gives you the number and percent that are overturned, meaning the health plan's original denial was overturned, either upheld or the health plan reversed. And then we have some contact information for our help center at the bottom. So I just wanted to show you where we came from to get to that dashboard. This is an enrollment report for one health plan that you could pull off of our website. This would be on the Open Data portal. And you would have to go in and add up all 20 of those columns and then categorize them to get to commercial, government, or other sources. And so this is really not providing insight or value to anyone that's trying to get a quick glance of enrollment under this plan. And so that was really the goal of the dashboard, and through data visualization was to provide that value instantaneously. You could just look at it and really digest it.
Thank you, Rachel. So how did we go from this place to the dashboard that is helpful to the users? We can talk about it in terms of the steps we followed, as well as that you can follow to get value from your data. So there are really three key elements for telling a story with data. The data, of course, is the basis of all. We need to have credible data to begin with. When it is combined with narrative information and visualizations, that's when the story becomes complete. So when data is accompanied with narration, you are explaining what that data is telling you. When you use visuals, you are providing enlightenment to the user. And when the narration and visuals go together, that's when you are engaging your customer or user. Together, we achieve the change that we want to get our consumers to do, or the users to make decisions and achieve the change required.